All right, so I wanted to create a video for my ACL and just take you guys through what I'm doing for PT. Tomorrow will be 3 weeks post-op. So these are just the things that have worked for me and my recovery to date. So I'm gonna walk you through it. So first I use my toe separator sometimes. If I'm being a good student, I just like this during my exercises to get a little bit more bang for my buck. It's my right knee that is the injured knee, and I'm still working on getting my range of motion back, which is super important in the beginning of your recovery. Extension definitely came easier for me than a flexion. Here's the knee currently. You can see it's still very swollen. It looks like a sausage. Okay, let me just clean this camera off and make sure. There we go, that's better. All right, so Compex. This has been a game changer with the sticky pads. So I went to PT once in person, and I've been sticking to these exercises at least once a day. Ideally, I'd be doing it twice a day, but just to be full transparency, I feel like there's a fine line of doing too much and not doing enough. So I kind of just let my body dictate what feels good. Once a day feels good if I do enough. All right, so I'm gonna start with the Compex on strength mode. So I put one at the top of my quad and these two let me angle this down so you can see. Okay, so one's gonna go VMO, just like upper inner thigh, and the other one I put Rec Fem, so kind of in the middle. All right. I like to start a timer, see how long it takes me. So I plug these in. Just to give you guys a little backstory, I injured my ACL rock climbing, bouldering, indoor, and I fell. Accidents happen. All right, so I power it on. I do strength mode, and then I go down to quad. And then it starts. So it's 32 minutes in total, which I obviously don't do. I try to go off of last stats. So the last time I did this, I was doing 25 to 30. So I'm gonna set it for 25. First couple minutes, it just warms up the muscle. So first and foremost, I kind of, like my therapist said, it doesn't really matter the order, so I put them in an order that makes the most sense for me. Which first we're gonna start with heel slides. I don't typically do with the Compex on, but I don't see that being a problem. So I put socks on for this part so I can glide my heel without a problem. What we do to one side, we must do to the other. All right, these sticky pads are not very sticky anymore. Wasn't the best move for me to put lotion on before this. Anyways, all right, so I hook this band, it's called towel toning, but you can use a strap around my foot, and then I'll start with my glides. Let's see if I can get this in the video. I'll scoot back a little bit. So I start with this, and I try to do around a 1 second hold at the end range. 20 of these, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can tell it's not as good as this side. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, I'm gonna pause this. I don't know if, okay. This whole lotion thing is not doing me justice. So what I'm gonna do, swap these ones out. Bear with me. I need to wipe the lotion off of my leg because this is not sticking. My fault. Didn't think that through. So one thing I've been noticing in my recovery is because of the swelling, I have a lot of dry skin on my right leg, mainly because of the stretching, which is pretty gross, but I was using tallow to help hydrate my skin, and it's not working for these. Oh, these are much stickier. I think we'll have better success with this, hopefully. Just use some water and a towel to that's better. All right, I always get confused where the red and green are supposed to go. Okay, so it looks like we want the green on the inside. All right, so green goes here, this one goes here, and we're back. All right, back to setting 25. All right, so glides, I'll do 2 sets. So we'll do the second set now that we're back in order. All right, I found it really hard to find like follow along videos for recovery. So if this can help one person, 3, great, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I just turned the machine off because it started the strength portion. 2, 3. My PT usually takes about 45 minutes to an hour, which is why I've been only doing it once a day. And as I'm doing this, like the pressure is mainly on the top of my knee when I hit this range. 9, 10. Okay, done with those. Because my complex machine is on, it's ready to go, what I do is I put a foam roller underneath my knee, and then as the top contraction is happening, I do a quad contraction and try to lift my leg and hold that position. So that's what we're gonna do now. Settings 25. So that's 1. You want visible twitching. All right, second set. 3, 2, 1. to, not very much range as you can see, but at least it's lifting off the ground. I'm gonna try a little bit harder setting. Harder as in more twitching. And lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. And you just repeat this. Usually do around 13 to 15 reps. Lift up. Wee. It's definitely not as straight as this side, which I think is just due to the swelling. So I just take what the body gives and we go from there. All right, so I'm gonna pause the video and then I will restart it for the next exercise. All right, I'm finishing up. I have 5 more reps on the short arch quad contractions. But I also wanted to touch on everybody's recovery is gonna look a little different depending on where your starting place is, you know, like what your prehab looked like, what your athletic level looks like. I consider myself very active. So like doing PT, although it's mundane and pretty boring, I recognize the value of doing my exercises. And I didn't have a meniscus tear, which thank God. That can also slow down your recovery, obviously because you have 2 injuries versus just 1. This is also my first ever injury, hopefully my last. It definitely makes you grateful for your health and more cautious. At least I'm speaking for myself. Over the past 2 days, I've been very itchy on my knee. It's very uncomfortable, and my incisions are probably the most uncomfortable part because I'm not wearing a bandage or anything. I'm trying to just let my wounds breathe. 2 more. So yeah, that's just where I'm at. And I've been walking on it just fine. I can, weight bear pretty fine. I do hobble around kind of like a pirate. So that's not necessarily normal yet. But the whole point is to keep the body safe and prevent a fall, which almost happened this morning. I was putting ice in my tea and the floor was wet. Needless to say, it was a freak accident. I didn't slide on my right foot, which is good. Just did it on my left, and I freaked out for a sec, but I pulled myself together. All right, we're gonna go to the quad lifts next. So as the contraction's going, I leg raise. This was a huge milestone for me last week. It was on a Sunday, I remember. My doctor said once I can do an unassisted leg raise, I can then no longer wear my brace to bed, which was big. So that if you're new in recovery, definitely focus on this. Trying to get the leg raise unassisted is huge. I also had a quad graft, so they took it from my quad tendon to use it for my ACL. There's also hamstring and patella graft that I didn't have. So I think that's also the reason why it took my quad strength and mind muscle connection to come back, because it was taken apart. All right, that's a 3. So I try to engage the quad and then lift. There's still obviously some pressure around my knee as I do that, mainly right where the incision is, where they took it. That's where I feel it the most. But it's definitely less than, you know, week 1 and week 2. I'd say week 1 was mainly pain management. I'm still icing, but ice was very much a part of my early recovery, and elevating the foot comfortably, which, funny enough, there's never really a comfortable position. But it's the goal. All right, we're gonna do 5 more of these. It's like a 5-second hold at the top. In terms of PT, I'm paying out of pocket, which is the reason why I'm not going like 2 or 3 times a week, or else, you know, if insurance was covering it, I would definitely be there. I also do postural therapy, which is a form of physical therapy, as my main job. So I have all the tools at home, and although I don't have all of the knowledge because I'm not familiar with acute injuries, I'm really good about doing my homework. So if I wasn't, I would definitely be able to justify the investment of going in person 2 to 3 times a week. But I also don't have the best insurance, so my surgery was $6,000 out of pocket. And who knows, like, I'm probably, knock on wood, hopefully don't owe anymore, but you never know with medical bills. It really is a shame. 2 more. These feel pretty strong today. I'm at level 35, which is an improvement. I was doing 25 before, so it's all about the baby steps. One more, up and hold. Perfect. All right, I'm gonna stop it there. Power off. This is kind of a pain to like get out, put away. I try to just keep it plugged into the same one just for time's sake. It's not a cheap machine. I think my fiance spent like $400 on it or something, but it's been a game changer. He had it before my surgery, so it's not like it was an investment in recovery. Just using all the tools. All right, next up, I have sideline leg raises, which these feel really good. No pain really, and I alternate them with clams, which aren't as, I'll show you, they're just not that great. This machine I feel like really fatigues my quads, so that's why like doing twice a day is just seems like a little bit of an overkill. So the progression for the sideline leg raises would be like a band if I feel like it's too easy, but I feel like if I do enough reps, it's challenging enough. Okay, so I go sideline, bottom knees bent, top leg straight, and I lift up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I try to keep the leg straight. Thigh tight. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I'll just show you guys 1 set, but I usually do 2 sets, 20. So I do the leg raise, and then I'll do clams. 1, 2. I've done these with the band. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you want, I can link all of the equipment that I'm using. So like my toe spacers, the Compex machine, and I think that's it. A foam roller maybe, if that's helpful. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and then if I'm feeling good, I'll also do the inner thigh on the bottom leg. So I'll bring this leg in front and then lift and lower 20 times. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And ideally, I'll just do the same thing, repeat it one more time, and then go to the left side. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'll record this side so you guys can see and follow along if you wish. But the left side you don't need to see. But I still do the other side just because I don't want to create imbalance, even though I'm obviously injured on this side. 13, 14. And you should feel this like outer thigh, outer glute fatigue. Oof. Yep, that'll do it. Oh. All right, feet together, lift up. 1, 2, 3. The range is not that high here. 4, 5, 6. I also think it's good to do both sides, so that way you have like something to compare it to. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I still feel pretty strong in these on both sides. But like there's no, like on my inner thigh on the right side feels fine. No weakness there, I guess I would say. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, let me do the other side. I'll be back. All right, next up on the list, I have heel digs and bridges. So heel digs is mainly just to get the hamstring firing, which is why I take my sock off. Let's see what angle best for this. I'm gonna move the camera over here. That way you can see the side angle. Okay. So I'll take both socks off. That way I can grip the floor. All right, so I want my knees parallel. Okay, and it's mainly just digging the heel down. Let's see, 15 reps. So push, release, push, release, push, release. I'm just trying to keep my left leg out of it. For the bridges, I'll do both sides. Sometimes I like to touch the muscle to make sure it's firing. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And I try to think about the heel going back towards my butt and down into the floor. And then I'll alternate that with bridges. So, scoop the feet back as far as I can. Make sure the knees are parallel. Head goes down. Still pushing through my heels. 1, 2, 3. Focus on my glutes. 4, hamstrings. 5, 6, 7, 8. Try to get that heel back just a little bit more. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh, that hurts. Okay, one more set of heel digs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. One more set of bridges. So another way I've been doing hamstrings is prone position on your stomach, trying to kick the foot to the butt. $18, $19, $20. Also, I was advised that a recumbent bike really helps with just getting the knee moving. You can see like sort of a scar here. I'm not gonna zoom in because it's pretty hairy. Okay, next we're gonna move on to a single leg balance. So this one's standing. Let's see, put you over here. So you're literally just balancing on one side. Clear this up for 30 seconds. All right. I prefer something I can hold on to, so bring it down to the floor so you can see. So I'm not holding on to anything, trying to keep this thigh tight, focusing on balance, pushing my big toe into the floor. And switch. And then the progression from there is anything that's going to challenge proprioception. So eyes closed, head turns. I mean, honestly, these feel pretty easy. There's not a real challenge. And then last on my list of PT exercises is a sit to stand, which I'll show you. I try to do those in front of the mirror because that way I don't offset. All right. Okay, stop. And I use a block, which is about, 90 degrees with my knees bending when I'm sitting. So, put you over here so y'all can see. Eventually I'll get better at filming. Okay. Try to face the camera, I'll use that as my mirror. All right, so feet planted, knees are straight. I'll try going hands together and just doing a sit to stand. So 1, it's usually on the way down where I'll jet out to the side. 2, try to pick something that doesn't move. 3, 4, another option is hands behind the head. 5, 6, 7. This helps with the knee flexion. 8, 9. Looks pretty good. 10. We'll do one more set of 10 and then I'm gonna try the bike and see how that range of motion feels. It's good to have things that I can measure my progress with. The leg raise was a good one. Have targets that I wanna hit by a certain time. The bike, the other day I got like full circle, which was a huge improvement because I couldn't do that. But mainly backwards pedaling is easier for me than forwards. So we'll try that. We'll do 4 more. 4, 3, 2. Slowing it down on the way down is definitely harder. 1. Right here. Slow, 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 slow. Woo! Okay. For my bike, I'm gonna put my socks back on because there's metal on the bike and it's uncomfortable. Right, so that actually like wraps up my PT. I'll do a few things, you know, additionally, maybe, you know, some knee lifts in a seated position. Make sure my hip flexors are firing. All right, let's try this. I'm gonna put you down here so you can see the whole bike, and we'll see how it goes. It's definitely easier for my right leg to start straight. Okay, so usually warm up with like half circles. 1. And I found if I move my foot to like more towards the back, so the pedal's more towards my heel, that feels much more comfortable. All right, we're gonna try a backwards one first. It's at the top range where I feel the pressure, but that actually was pretty good. I didn't hip hike or anything. Oof, that one hurt. When I say hurt, I mean it's just testing my range, right? And there's no resistance on the bike. I try to use my left leg to help push at the top range. All right, so that looks pretty good. And then we'll try forward. Wow, no pain. That's pretty good. When I first started this, I would like literally lift my butt off the seat because it was so uncomfortable. And I try adding a little bit of resistance and just see what that feels like. Okay, I'm moving to the middle of the foot. Not too bad. Like at the top, I feel myself wanting to cheat out of it. But as long as I kind of like lean my body, so if I'm left leg down, I shift my weight to the left, shift my weight to the right, that feels much better. So I think I'm gonna start adding this into my routine for an allotment of time. Maybe start with 5 minutes and go from there. So I hope this was helpful. I wanted to share my ACL recovery with you guys as a follow along because I found it really helpful and encouraging and motivating when I watched other people and what they were doing for their rehab. So if this was helpful, please let me know in the comments. And if you would like to see progressions for the next week, let me know. All right, thanks guys. Hope you have a great day.